What's up, everybody? Tim Humphreys here, and in today's video, we are going to be looking very closely at some jump footage that I have from Mammoth. A lot of you guys were pretty hyped on this front three crail grab that I did that I posted on my Instagram a little bit ago. I'm going to talk a little bit more about this trick, front and center, and then I have a bunch of other stuff that I did too. Shout out to Filthy Rich Mangum for sending me a bunch of these clips. Let's get into this front three. Let's learn some stuff. All right, approaching the lip already. Notice my line coming in. Keep my board very straight off the end of the lip. So I'm not edging super hard. You can see right here that my board's kind of flexed a little bit. Like the front corner of this board is up, where this whole section of the board is pretty planted into the snow. And why I do that is to be applying my edge, but I don't want to initiate a turn. I want to be pretty flat, but I do want that edge locked in so I have a little something to push off of once I get to the end of the lip. All right, so I'm cruising up the lip. Notice how my arms start pretty squared up back here. My arms are kind of squared up, and as I go up the lip, I'll start unwinding them around, and I got arrow arms now. So watch the arms going up. So notice how my whole body goes from being completely squared up to now my chest is full 90 degrees, completely perpendicular to the jump. But here my board is still completely straight. So as I'm leaving the jump, my body's kind of hitting max extension. Notice how my front leg is kind of straight, my back leg's a little bit more bent. And I kind of just give her a little bit of a pop right there, just kind of almost with my chest more than from my legs. Just bring myself up. And the board stays completely straight off the end of the lip. You always want the board to stay as straight as it can because pre-spinning is bad. So we're in the air, popping way up. Notice how right here I like shifty my board the opposite way of my body to get the grab. So with this grab in particular, if I square my chest up with the board a lot, it makes it a lot easier to actually get the grab. And then in the air, see how my left arm is swinging itself back. I kind of slowed my rotation down to actually shifting my board the wrong way to get the grab, so now I have to compensate for that. So that's why I swing my arm around, and that brings me around in the spin a little bit better. Now right here, I'm just hanging on, chilling, fully extended, got nothing to do, staring straight down at the knuckle. I notice a lot of people when they start learning frontside 360s. And at this point, most people are still like looking out somewhere. Where really, the second you lock in the grab, just look straight down for the knuckle and landing. Because that way you stare at it the whole time. You know exactly how hard to pull yourself in the air. So I'm making all these little micro adjustments in the air, and that's really what's going to set you up for landing it. Generally, having more awareness and control, super important. Right about here, I've grabbed long enough, and look at what my arms and legs do. So my left arm that was up, pulling me around in the spin a little bit more, I throw that thing straight down. Look at that. I throw my left arm straight down. And at the same time, my right arm kind of goes up and back a little bit, the opposite way of my spin. I'm bringing my back knee up. So I'm flexing, flexing my back knee, straightening this out. This arm is going down, and this arm is kind of going up and back. So what all that kind of does together is getting my shoulders and everything more parallel with the landing. So notice after that move's done, this arm stopped the rotation. This arm got my shoulders down. So notice how my shoulders are like that, and my board's like that. Because that's the grade of the landing. That's what you want to be when you're coming around is landing. Also notice I'm still staring at the knuckle. So a lot of these blind landing tricks, you pretty much just land twisted up, still looking uphill. It's kind of weird, but once you start taking the impact, then you can look around. Next up, we have a couple of backside rodeos, little back rodeo nose grab. Sorry for the quality on the zoomed in ones. I just want to show it a little better. Here we got a POV shot, and here's another one, the tail grab. So again, board straight off the end of the lip. Notice how I kind of throw the spin complete barrel roll. So I get the full flip done, and I haven't even turned the 180 yet. I think with backside rodeos, if you try and initiate the spin off the lip, you always revert. Pretty much blind to it until right here. And now you see I am staring directly at the knuckle. That's going to be a really big theme in this video, is staring at the knuckle when you're spotting your tricks. You don't want to get lost in the air. That is the absolute worst thing. All right, so I'm just hanging out, cruising. My shoulders are already kind of into the same grade as the landing, so I don't really have to do too much adjusting. And all I have to do is keep looking at the landing, just turn my legs around. I kind of counter rotate my arms a little bit, but it's more like they just stay in place. I kind of put the front corner of my board down here. It's like putting my nose down first and pivoting the landing, because as I came around, I wasn't totally leaning into the hill. That's all right. So I'm not going super, super big. I'm not taking a crazy amount of impact. The jump is built super nice. Shout out to Mammoth Unbound. So this little pivot landing right here, I kind of just hang out and let my board set down, and then I start taking the full impact. Now this is okay to land twisted up like this, but you need to be really, really careful and aware. So let's say I'm gonna land like, I don't know, I'm gonna land down here or something. I just went way too fast. I'm gonna send it. I would not have put my body down in this position. I fully would have just turned around and squared up, because when you land twisted up like this, you run the risk of hitting your face on your knee. So yeah, the twisted up landings are good. A lot of times, still looking at the knuckle. This is what helps me not revert out of it. But if you got to take a lot of impact, just anticipate it, square up early, and you know, you might not land it, but or not going to be as likely to get injured. All right, let's check the POV real quick. See what the POV is going to show us. So again, I'm just riding pretty straight up the lip, kind of start rolling it off my heels at the end, kind of give a little pop off my back leg. And I think I initiate this with my back arm. So again, it's kind of like almost like a little backflip back roll, since I wasn't going very big, so I didn't really get the grab and whip it around. But this is what I'm seeing. Like, this is why we stare at the knuckle, is see how I land and roll straight to my heels and even start kind of turning out? Like, I barely held on to that. And I was stalling and waiting and throwing it around even extra late. So the little late 180 definitely helps keep the rotation from continuing once you land. Now this one with the tail grab is a little different, because I have to initiate with my front arm, because the back arm kind of goes straight for the grab. But same sort of deal right here, staring at the landing. My front arm right there, I'm kind of reaching out towards it, and then letting go, still just looking straight down at it. Turn my shoulders a little bit, and this one I land a little bit better, because actually see what this arm is doing right here. So I kind of throw it like up. So in throwing my arm up, see I do a little bit less of a pivot. I'm a little bit more in control. The back arm goes up, front arm reaches down towards the landing, and you always want to try and land with your board pointed straight down the landing. Like landing with your board sideways on landings, that's really bad. Yeah, avoid that. Always try and get your board around. Here we got this little backside 180. Let's see if we can see anything or learn anything out of this. Got a little something. So really the only talking point that I have on this one is right here where I let go. I just wasn't that stable in the air. I don't know. It's pretty crappy backside 180. But look at what my left arm does here. See, I just throw it straight up. What that does is gets my shoulders like that, so that when I land, as long as my shoulders are like that, I can set my board can be off a little bit and it'll set itself down. And then here, see how my leading arm is reaching down towards the landing, another thing to just get my shoulders in line. So even though like when I set my board down, see I'm way on my tail, it doesn't flex a lot. Really, it's I'm just keeping my shoulders down, hanging out, and just touchdown landing like on the airplanes. Here's another backside 180. Ooh, a little tweak. That's pretty sick. Board straight off the lip. Looking forward right now. Give a little pop to get some air. Grab. And right here, I am staring straight down at the landing. Just staring at the old knuckle. Notice how while I'm in the air too, uh, this arm is up and this arm is grabbing. That adds extra chillness because once I'm all cool tweaking and looking sick, I just let go of my grab and I don't have to do any other adjustments with my arms, like my front arm. See how it just kind of hangs out, I just float it out. Here we have a frontside 720 nose grab. Ooh, this trick's super fun. I'm not making any crazy aggressive setup carve. I have this little edge transfer right here. I'm not doing anything aggressive. Basically, the thing with jumping once you start hitting bigger jumps is go the right speed and just don't do anything stupid the last 10 feet of the lip. So check it out how my shoulders are unwinding. See how even my back arm comes through and my board's pretty straight off the end of the lip. And I really don't let the board go until I hit this like full extension here. So pretty much any trick, once you snap off the lip, your body hits a full extension. You want that to happen right as your back foot passes the lip or even a little bit later on bigger jumps. Not really before. You'll pre-spin. You'll kind of shank the spin, lose distance, come up short. A lot of bad things will happen. All right, let's keep cruising. So I set the spin, throw it, just kind of looking for the grab right now. So I'm sort of just looking at the nose of my board after I throw it. And then getting that grab, crank that soldier boy. And now here's where the landing comes into view. I'm at my apex, I'm spotting it. And this trick is like you're oddly kind of committed to a weird position coming around. Um, so notice how I let go of the grab, do a sweet shifty with my body, and kind of leave my board behind a little bit. Pretty much my arms and body are going around that way, and my board is kind of like I'm like holding it. I'm like holding it out this way a little bit more. It sets me up to do this next move where I then do the opposite of that. I bring my shoulders back and whip my board around. And that's how you can do a quick little whip around at the end and like not keep spinning out. See how I landed and just locked in to my edge and rode straight out. Like notice how most of these I'm fully blind when I land. And that's kind of how you consistently land and don't revert. So if you're having revert issues, you might need to just be counter rotating your body a little bit more. With tricks like this too, it's the reason why I kicked out of it where I did is if I had more hang time, I could have held on to the grab a little bit longer, but I needed to get out of it and get my board around. So like that's a big thing about just spotting the knuckle, staring at it, knowing where you're at in the air. Just properly setting up these micro adjustments, like a lot of these decisions happen right here. Like right here is where I decide, all right, I got to like kind of crank my body some more, leave the board behind, then whip it all back. This is what makes you land more consistently, is just doing these midair moves to get your body around and get your feet under you. Yeah, you might lose some stees because you got to let go of the grab or whatever, but you'll land the trick every time. And I'd rather do it kind of ugly and land it than like do it all sick in the air and bail. So, oh yeah, back five crail grab, sick. Love this trick. All right. That was a nice one too. Cruising in, little weight transfer of my edge. And I start initiating the spin. Notice how I'm still leaving my board pretty straight off the end of the lip. Doesn't have to be perfect every time, but the straighter off the end of the lip, the better. And then my body hits full extension, so I'm like completely separated from my board. And this one's fun because you kind of throw the trick and your board sort of lags behind just from the initiation. And then you bring it up in front of you. The grab's just right there. How I spot the landing is like over here, my arm and legs and all sorts of stuff. So I kind of look out that way. But then as the trick comes around, kind of have to sense it a little bit until I like let go and all that. Sometimes you get a little peek through like kind of down here. But the one thing nice about this trick is when you throw it right off the lip, it just comes around. There's no micro adjustments in the air. That's why a lot of the 540s are a little bit easier than 720s and some of the other spins. So you can kind of just throw them and they come to your feet. like all the other ones, kind of counter rotating. The arm that's going to be leading when I land this one, that one's going to come down. The arm you can't see, I'm throwing it like up that way over there. And again, staring at the knuckle, just as I transfer my view right down to in between me because I was coming around all nice. Um, I felt like I was going a little bit down the landing, so I squared up right before I hit. Um, Something good to do. And this arm is still down, so that's just helping me get my shoulders parallel to the landing. Then land, look forward, and cruise on out. Going in, looks like a cab spin. Look at that twist on the board, unwinding it. Oh yeah, the cab 7. The world's nicest butt shot. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my OnlyFans. Mm. Oh, that's snow bouncing off the knuckle, and when I come around, oh, that's so sick. Bam. As I'm cruising in, again, I'm kind of like transferring weight from one edge to the other. See, I'm kind of like on my toes a little bit here. I'm cruising, and watch what my body does. So I'm unwinding, and I hit that snap right here, like boom. That's like where you want to hit it. If you're hitting your snap here, then you're just gonna skid off the lip and probably come up short and hit the knuckle and do half a flip and land on your back like halfway down the landing. So that's why we don't like pre-spinning. But a lot of it too is the follow through with the trailing arm when you're throwing these spins. See how my like rear arm kind of followed through. So I kind of just throw it, sort of gather myself together, get the grab right here. I'm just staring at the landing, and then see how my left arm starts going up in the air. What a surprise! And then let go of the grab. This arm's kind of staying down. This one's up in the air, and I am just bringing my board around, just staring at the knuckle still. Just boom. It's that easy. All right, let's take a look at the POV. Oh, yeah. Oh, butter. Yeah, that one was like really smooth. That one felt nice. That's what we're looking for. Is those nice smooth jump tricks that just feel good while you're doing it. All right. So bam. See how I'm like, I think I started unloading a little bit early. Right here, I don't know. I feel like I'm just forcing my board to be straight. My back leg's kind of flexed, front leg straight. Back arm is throwing through on the spin. Front arm is back behind me. I'm kind of just looking out. And then reach around for the grab. And then once I get the grab, I'm kind of right here. This trick was nice because I kind of can spot the whole knuckle right here pretty early. Thought I needed a little bit more oomph, so see how my left arm just comes around in a frame? Just that guy right there. And I'm still staring at the knuckle. Notice how I'm kind of bringing my board around too while it's still in the grab. I'm like applying that little tweak right there. So that's a good way to keep holding on to the grab, but get your board set up for as long as you could. Probably could have held on a little longer, but I don't want to land on my hands, chop them off. Again, just staring at the knuckle, looking up the hill, like literally identical to the landing of the back 5. Let's do a quick little recap on all of our most important things that we want to do. All right, we want to keep our board straight off the end of the lip for as long as we can. Hit that full extension kind of once we're in the air. Once we hit our apex, we start looking for the knuckle, making any micro adjustments that we need to. Doing the right things with my shoulders and arms coming into the landing, especially my front arm reaching down, back arm going up, get those shoulders set, and counter rotating everything, including my head sometimes on these blind landing tricks and landing blind for a second. But remember, we're not going to do this if we go too big. So that's going to do it for today's video. Let's run back this front 3 real quick because it's awesome. And yeah, hopefully you guys learned some stuff. I got a whole other video with even more tricks from this jump. I had too many clips, had to split it into 2 videos. So hopefully y'all liked it and learned some stuff. And we'll have a little bit more success out there flying through the air this winter.